Hello, and welcome to the Tier 4 Langley. This is obviously an aircraft carrier. It's carrying aircraft, which should probably point that out to you. This is the first available currently aircraft carrier. It's actually, you know, the US is the only tree as of right now that actually has aircraft carriers. I can bring that up and show them to you, but there they are. We have the Langley, the Independence, the Saipan, the Ranger, the Lexington. I always found this one to have an odd name compared to the rest of them, but whatever. And then we have the lovely Essex at Tier 10. It's an Essex. It's a carrier. It's much like many of the other ones before it. But with that said, carriers, they have guns, generally. Some of them have guns, but they're not very good guns. They're actually secondary armament, so you cannot fire them yourself. They will automatically fire at nearby targets using... I have no idea what ammo they actually use. Probably AP. It might be HE. I don't know. Who knows? But they're very tiny guns. If something is within range that these guns are shooting at them, you're probably screwed. So just don't worry about those too much. This specific vessel has 3 squadrons. We can either have 1 fighter, 2 torpedo bombers, or 2 fighters and 1 torpedo bomber. I have opted for 2 torpedo bombers for an unknown reason. It uses Martins for torpedo bombers and Curtiss F6s. I actually don't know the proper name on these, but it might just be Curtis's. I don't know. That is the fighter it uses. So low tier, I haven't played carriers obviously very much, but low tier carriers, they only have 3 planes. In this case it has 3 planes. I think the Independence has 4. Let's load it up and see real quick. No, the Independence also has 3. Nah, that's kind of disappointing. I feel like there should be more planes that are weaker, so you have a larger array of planes, in my opinion. The Essex can have 5, which still isn't very much. That's with the current hotkey setup that the game has, that is actually the maximum number of planes that the game will technically support. This is the Essex, by the way. It's quite large. It's substantial. Has a lot of guns on it too, but I feel like you should have more planes that are individually weaker. So rather than, you know, a few squads of, I think, 6 planes at most. I think they default to 5 at the start, but instead of a few squads of 6 planes, I feel like you should have, you know, I should have as a Langley, let's say, 5 squads of 4 planes that individually have no chance of killing anything. For gameplay purposes, of course. Obviously, a single torpedo squadron with just 1 plane left in it has a relatively high chance of actually sinking a ship because it's a torpedo bomber, and that's what they do. Now, in the previous 2 videos I put up with those Tier 1 and 2 cruisers, people pointed out a few things to me. When the game says Citadel, it seems to mean core. And if you don't know what I mean when I say core, I mean the part of the ship that has important stuff in it. So generally this will be underneath the tower. Conning tower if you prefer. Cough, Jeff, cough. This will be generally in the center of the ship, and it'll be about more or less 40 to 60% of the hull in the center of the ship, depending on obviously what kind of ship it is, how big it is, etc., etc. Destroyers tend to have much smaller citadels than a battleship would for obvious reasons. It's a much smaller ship. But that's apparently what it's talking about. So basically any important component on the ship, if you hit it, it'll say Citadel hit. So whatever, fair enough. Also, port is left and starboard is right. I actually have that in a little notepad file on the right so I don't forget constantly because I'm a nincompoop. So we have me and another Langley versus a Langley and an Independence, which is bollocks, but you know, that's what you get with beta. They, however, have a Kawachi, which is, as far as I'm concerned, at this tier, basically useless. We'll get into the Kawashi later, but we have a Miyogi, which is good, and a Kongo, which is really good. So, here's us. We are going to actually forward at half for the time being until I determine where I need to be. But this is our view. We are a carrier. In competitive play, the carrier would probably be some form of commanding person. So that guy's actually heading to C. Let's see what our team's doing. We're gonna send group 2 over there, because that's the direction we're heading. So, I actually don't know if... Yeah, I don't think you can actually get out of this overhead view as a carrier. You're basically stuck in this view, so... There goes my fighter group. We'll go ahead and launch my torpedo group, one of my torpedo groups that way, and another one this way real quick. I'm just loosely throwing them out to get them to take off. We'll actually... I'm sorry, what? Do I have my boat selected? I do have my boat selected. I don't know why I have my boat selected. Why is it doing that? Oh, that's why it's doing that, because I keep right-clicking instead of left-clicking. Herp derp. So 4 is over here. 4 and 2 are over there. 3 is on that side. That's a terrible way to do it, but that's the way I am doing it, so... Balls to you. Our other carrier friend is right here. I assume he's launched some of his planes. That's a scout plane, by the way. No, that's a fighter, sorry. Do we have any scout planes? Yes, that is a scout plane. Planes with catapults can launch these scout planes to do some help, so there's the other carrier's fighters heading in that direction. In the meantime, you guys can chill there. What is this? Bombers. I am too early of a tier to actually be capable of using bombers. So, once again, I right-clicked. I need to stop doing that, but that's the thing I do sometimes, so... Whatever, we'll go ahead and grab these guys. I have them positioned poorly, so I'm not using hotkeys very well. So we got fighters over there, which I want nothing to do with my torpedo bombers, but they are capturing this. So if possible, he's getting harassed by the destroyer. If possible, I'd like to fire a torpedo volley down here because he's probably got friends. You gotta be careful because it is a destroyer. The other thing is there's some bombers flying around, which I do not like. So what's going on over here? Got a cruiser. We're gonna go ahead and fire at that cruiser. You guys can go ahead and stay over there. This is basically... This is what carrier gameplay is. It's very much more... Oh dear. Those are fighters. It's very much more like a RTS game than anything else. That is a battleship, and frankly, I would like to drop some torpedoes on that. What kind of battleship is that? That is a Kawachi. Kawachi are very slow.
We are under attack.
Go ahead and do that. Who's under attack? You guys are. They got fighters on them, so. Let's see. Let's get you. He's gonna die. That's a battleship. That's a scout plane. We'll go harass that scout plane real quick. You guys are fine. You guys are getting horribly mauled by fighters. I did get a shot on this Kawachi, but he was already turning. I'm probably going to end up losing those, actually. My fighters are too far away to support them, sadly. The other thing that has occurred to me is that I should be turning. Yeah, Group 3's down, Group 4 is going to land, Group 2 is being horribly mauled by that battleship that I thought was going to continue going forward, but it wasn't. This is the only reason I flew these fighters over there, is I thought that battleship was actually going to continue in the direction it was going. I'm gonna straighten out. I'm actually gonna turn slightly to the port side. So who is this guy? Oh, he's a Nicholas that got horribly mauled, I guess.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that at all.
Autopilot mode disabled.
There is an autopilot mode for your carrier that'll take it somewhere, but nah. I'm gonna have them actually go ahead and head back. We shouldn't be fighting over here. And by we, I mean me and the other carrier.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
I'm gonna have them go back. And because of circumstances, you guys need to lift off. There is a Congo clearly within range of me. He is easily within range of me. So I'm actually going to have Group 3 head this way. Group 4 is going to head that way. He is easily within range of me. He must know I'm here. He also knows my torpedo bombers are here. Let's go ahead and get those guys going in that direction. He is firing his anti-air at me. Let's go ahead and get these guys firing in that direction. And that is more or less what I try to do. It is a Congo, so it can turn quickly. Dodge that one. The question is, can it turn well enough to dodge both of them? And the answer is maybe. It's not gonna kill him. Might hamper him. Took out a cannon. Took out his ability to turn. I don't know why he's not shooting at me. Congo, I think, has a range of like 14 kilometers or something. There's some fighter going on over here. Ow. Yep, now he's shooting at me. So, there's not really a whole lot I can do about this except for try to get myself behind this island. Ow. Now what he should be doing is actually firing HE shells at me. Oh, he's gonna come around the other side. What he should be doing is firing HE shells at me. If he lights my deck on fire, I can no longer launch aircraft. Obviously, because the deck is on fire, it makes it very difficult. The other carrier has realized the situation with a Congo over here.
Taking fire.
Autopilot mode enabled.
So screw it, go that way. They're not going to be able to do what I want to do with this torpedo spread here. Also, he knows I'm here, and I should have launched those earlier. Ow. So I've actually got two ships shooting at me now, yeah. I'm dead, by the way. If you ever happen to be curious about this, I am actually dead. Don't worry about that. I realize you're under attack. Can you idiots drop your torpedoes at some point this century? So, yep, I'm on fire. There is not a whole lot I'm going to be able to do about this. Both of you guys are dead. I did some good damage to this Congo, but it is way too late. The other carrier's got his stuff over here trying to help me out, but I am dead. There's the volley that'll do it to you. Oh, It's making some creaky sounds. Launch planes! Get off the deck! That'll be my parting command. I got 3 planes to take off. Shoot torpedoes. You guys are running out of ammo. Live! Live, damn you, live! I'm dead.
The enemy is about to win.
Rip. There were torpedoes coming at me. There's basically nothing I could have done about that anyway, so I am rip. The plus side here is that so much of their team that is still alive is actually over there harassing me and the other dude, that we've got 2 ships in the middle that seem to be able to capture points uncontested, so we may be able to pull this back. My fighter pilots are still flying around, by the way. That's them over there. They have a little bit of ammo left. But I can't give them commands anymore, obviously, because I'm dead. I don't know what that guy thinks he's doing. I'm trying to get the spectator view, there we go, to show this guy. Since he's the same, he's actually at the edge of the map. Since he's the same boat as me,
Our victory is
the same
in sight.
vessel, go ahead and watch him get horribly murdered, presumably. This is basically how my carrier matches go. They either go, you know, I don't really do a whole lot of damage, but nothing ever gets close to me, or I do you know, a little bit of damage to a couple of boats and then get horribly murdered because half the team is right next to me. That's basically how it goes. I'm not an expert on carrier warfare. All I know is that when you launch torpedoes, you should launch torpedoes in 2 directions at the same time. It looks like, yeah, we're gonna win this one, just because they didn't defend their cap. The destroyer that was near... No, that's me that died. Never mind. That was me trying to get behind the mountain again. Oh well. So here's the Congo, by the way. This is what was shooting at me. This is a traditional styled battleship. Single line of turrets down the center of the hole there. And we won. Hooray! How well did I do? I don't know. That's fairly good. I got killed by Congo. I got effective shooting, which makes me happy. That means I did a certain amount of damage. 908. Where's the other Langley? 891. We're fairly close in effectiveness. He shot down way more planes than I did, though, so he may have been running double fighter. In fact, he probably was. I don't know. Considering he shot down 16, he more than likely was running double fighter. This Independence shot down 29. Good lord. That is a lot of planes that got shot down. I guess we can do one more match. With Yield and Langley. I don't want to mix and match classes because it makes titling of my videos a little bit weird, considering I title them with, you know, tier 4 carrier. If I had another tier 4 carrier, I could put that one in this video, but I don't. So, we have no modules. We do have something that I got between this video and the last, and that is admirals. And admirals gain experience, and you can give them skills. This one I just unlocked this. So we've got 10% to AA engagement area efficiency and minus 10% reloading time for secondary armament. The other one is alright, but I'm in a carrier, so if I'm being shot at, I don't know how useful that is. Minus 10% servicing time of torpedo bombers is pretty good. This is good for battleships. I don't have main batteries, so obviously that doesn't actually help me. Oh no, not battleships, is it? Yes, battleships. It's good to everything, anyway. Reloading time of damage control party is pretty good. Oh, I can't afford these. They cost 2. So I could only afford that one. Alright, well we're just gonna keep saving our points up then to get probably this torpedo armament stuff. Let's go ahead and head into another battle, see how we do. Lots of people playing carriers because it's different, so... And I think there's a maximum number of carriers per battle. I think it's 2. So sometimes it can take a little while to actually get into a match as a carrier. Has to drain out a few of them before it'll put me into a match. Which usually isn't too much of a problem. Even with the lower population, people are generally concentrated in these kind of lower middle tiers, so... Easy enough to get matches. Obviously, if you're at tier 9, it's gonna take a while. If you're at tier 10, good luck. I've seen people complain because nobody plays tier 10, but, you know, people have to get to tier 10 and then they have to be able to afford to run tier 10, and Wargaming's being a bit derpy about handing out piasters or whatever the real money currency is. I think it's piasters. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but whatever. By the way, I should point out, I do not believe you can get Citadel hits with torpedoes. You may be able to, but I don't think you can. What torpedoes do is they apply a fairly substantial amount of damage. Torpedo bombers do less damage than torpedoes from a ship, for balancing reasons. But they do a fairly substantial amount of damage in, you know, a chunk, and then you're basically alright for a while. But they also apply a dot, similar to burning, which is actually flooding, which, you know, you get hit by a torpedo, you're probably flooding. And later tiers, when you have the access to dive bombers as well as torpedo bombers, you can use dive bombers to set the enemy on fire, which sometimes, for the most part, unless they're paying attention, will cause people to use their repair kit, and then you can hit them with a torpedo volley, which will cause flooding. And because they just use the repair kit to repair the fire, or stop the fire, not repair the fire, you don't want to make it stronger. That'd be a terrible idea. Because they use the repair kit to stop the fire, they cannot use the repair kit for another, I think, 50 to 60 seconds or so. I'm not sure exactly. I think it's something along those lines. Before they can actually use it again. So it's a good way to kill people, because the flooding hurts a lot. It'll take off, I don't know, probably 40% of a battleship's health before the repair kit will actually come back online, just from the damage over time on flooding, not to mention the actual damage from... Oh, there's Silence Warrior on the other team this time. Looky there. We got a tiny match. This happens sometimes, especially... What the game does is it'll sit you in queue for a while, but because the population's so low, eventually it will just bash you into a match with some people to get you through the queue and into a match. So we've got 2 carriers on each side. They have 3 Omahas. I'm gonna head north because I'm kind of a bit out in the open down here. They have 3 Omahas. We have 2 St. Louis. So we're at a bit of a disadvantage here. Otherwise, you know, all things equal. I'm gonna send fighters down that way. Now I think Silence Warrior was running double fighter, so I gotta be a little bit cautious about sending my stuff out and about and not paying attention to it.
Maintaining present course.
Because he will promptly proceed to start wrecking me, so... Go ahead and get my planes taking off here. As you do. So we can already see something. That's an Omaha. That's probably a lot of... Oh yeah, there's all 3 Omahas, in fact. The reason I'm sending the fighter over here is actually to scout. We've got a few scout planes out and about. So there's 3 Omahas over here. If I can get these torpedo bombers into position quickly, I might be able to fire a spread at all 3 of them at the same time. It won't hit all 3 of them. In fact, I'd be surprised if I hit any of them, but whatever. So what's the other carrier doing? He's right there. It's not moving much. So there's some fighters. I'm actually gonna pull my own fighters back. He can chase me over here if he wants. We'll have them just sit on that cruiser for now. Oh, there's fighters over there. So the enemy has started a base capture, unfortunately. Looks like he's brought his fighters over, so we'll go ahead and engage. Let's send these two north. There's some torpedo bombers. He's broken his fighter off. Hello. So here's a bit of a predicament here. We're gonna go ahead and have them shoot, or give them the command to fire their torpedoes a bit early.
Autopilot mode disabled.
We are going to get probably horribly murdered here in a second. Let's see what we can do here.
Awaiting instruction.
We're also going to fire some torpedoes over there.
Hull breach, we're taking on water quickly.
So I took some damage there. My fighters are getting horribly harassed, so we'll send them back to range of the carrier. I've got no cover. That fighter group's actually probably going to die. I've got no cover down here, which is why I'm trying to go north. Because, you know... Oh, I did hit someone there. And they're shooting at my dudes. What is that, a Congo? Yeah, that's a Congo. I'm trying to get north to try to get close enough for people to respond. The other carrier didn't seem to bother with that. I think he was trying to deal with torpedo bombers up here or something. So what's probably going to happen is either there's a ship down here somewhere, which is possible, but the teams are pretty small, so could be running blind. Let's go ahead and get our fighters back out. Or what's going to happen is that carrier, which is somewhere over here, based on where these planes are going, is going to send out some more torpedo bombers back to B, and that's probably Silence, because he looks like he's got both of his fighters defending there. Now, I've only got 4 fighters left, because we got horribly mauled, trying to defend myself from torpedo bombers. We didn't die. He only hit me with 2 torpedoes, as opposed to, I think you can hit all of the torpedoes on a battleship or a carrier, because they're so long, which is, you know, reasonable. So what is he firing torpedoes at? Probably trying to guess where carrier is or something. Maybe he accidentally fired, I don't know. What I also have now discovered is that none of our team is in the north, where me and this guy were actually heading. So now we've got a Congo and an Omaha, I assume, yeah, to the north of us, with basically a clear shot to us.
Airborne.
This is unfortunate. I would rather volley this Congo, but this Omaha is already firing down here. At him, obviously. So my fighters are just hanging out here. I don't know if you can capture points with fighters. I think you can. So I'm gonna fire some torpedoes. These are kind of panic torpedoes more than anything else.
Approaching target.
This is hopefully maybe to get him to break his current path here. There's some torpedoes from the other guy coming out. He may just not turn at all, and I still missed. How did that even happen? Who is piloting these torpedo bombers? That was the worst torpedo run I've ever seen. That wasn't a very good match, but I still completed a mission, so. I did very little. I did more than Lambro, though, to be fair. Where's Silence at? Yeah, he shot down 6 planes. That was him over by me, I'm pretty sure. Actually, he shot down 7. Either one of them could have been over by me, I don't know. I'm gonna go with silence though, so there you go. Either way, there's your carrier video. I feel like having a few more squads would make carriers a little bit more interesting than they are currently. Also larger maps, but we've already been over this. This game needs larger maps or it's gonna have problems. That's just how it is. So how much is independence? A whole freaking lot. Alright. We do get dive bombers if we wanted them. We can't run torpedo and dive bombers though. That's unfortunate. Either way, this game needs larger maps. There's just no way around that. If it keeps the current maps it has now, I think it's going to be far too simple. Because it's already compressed. It's not a simulation game. This Wargaming doesn't make simulations. They make pseudo simulations or arcade simulations or whatever you want to call them. You know, where they have the armor modeled. So if you have a battleship, like let's say this one, it has battleship armor. This is a poor, you know, example, but let's actually load up. Let's load up the Yamato. Everyone knows the Yamato. You look at this, and it has armor on this ship designed to withstand these main guns at a certain distance. It's like 40 kilometers, or I think what it was. It's 30 to 40 kilometers or something. I don't exactly remember, but it also has armor underneath this top deck. The Yamato is an amazing looking ship, by the way. I just thought I'd point that out. It has armor underneath this top deck, designed to withstand the main cannons on the ship at that range because of the arc. It's I forgot the term for it. Invulnerability zone or something like that. There's a certain zone where ships are invulnerable to fire from their own guns. It's just how they're built. They don't shoot themselves, it's just how they're built. But in this game, the ranges are compressed. They have all the armor and stuff modeled, but the ranges, the velocity of cannon fire and stuff like that are all compressed, but what they haven't compressed is the arc on guns or, you know, how the armor works or anything like that. I think they could just do with a larger map so you can actually get the invulnerability zones working. That'll give you some meta, you know, tactics and stuff like that, rather than just run in and basically it's a brawl at the moment. There is no invulnerability zones. Everyone can pierce everyone's armor because the ranges are so low, etc., etc. I think just making the maps larger or making the boats smaller and compressing the physics on the cannon rounds so they actually arc properly, that would also probably work. Either way, you know, it's here, it's in beta. Hopefully changes will be made. I think there's a patch coming soon-ish. Hopefully that includes Piasters, because not being able to purchase slots or a premium account is a little bit annoying, but whatever. Either way, thanks for watching. Next time, I guess we're probably gonna do the Kawachi, even though I dislike this boot. See you then.